What's going on YouTube? Listen up, young elder gang. This is your Joe Blow back at you with another banger. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video, fam. I hope this video get at least 100,000 likes. In the following video, you will find history, definitions, scripture, information, and best of all, what we Americans have been deprived of from the beginning, the truth. Keep in mind, this content used in this video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. We will give you the total truth as we best understand it today. Be sure to hit that like button, young elder gang. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit that bell and don't forget to check back with us every day for new content. Alright, let's get started. Ordo Templi Orientis, OTO lit. Order of the Temple of the East, or Order of Oriental Templars, is an occult secret society and hermetic magical organization founded at the beginning of the 20th century. The origins of OTO can be traced back to the German-speaking occultists Karl Kellner, Theodor Reuss, Heinrich Klein, and Franz Hartmann. In its first incarnation, OTO was intended to be modeled after and associated with European Freemasonry. As such, in its early years, only Freemasons could seek admittance. Founder and first head of the order Karl Kellner wanted to create an Academia Masonica wherein various rites of high-degree Freemasonry could be conferred within German-speaking countries. During the course of his esoteric studies across the globe and from many traditions, Kellner believed that he had discovered a key which offered a clear explanation of all the complex symbolism of Freemasonry and of nature itself. Kellner intended that OTO preserve and confer this key. After the death of Reuss, English writer and occultist Aleister Crowley assumed control of the order. Crowley had been inducted into OTO by Reuss in the early 1910s. While maintaining many core elements of Freemasonry and the intentions of both Kellner and Reuss, OTO was drastically changed by Crowley. The guiding philosophy of OTO from this point on became Crowley's self-created occult system, Thelema. With this change, OTO ceased its bestowal of Masonic degrees and membership requirements. After Crowley's death in 1947, 4 main branches of OTO claimed exclusive descent from the original organization and primacy over the other ones. Courts have ruled that the organization incorporated by Crowley's student Grady McMurtry in 1979 is the legal continuation of the order and is the exclusive owner of the names, trademarks, copyrights, and other assets of Crowley's OTO. The early history of OTO is difficult to trace reliably. It originated in Germany or Austria between 1895 and 1906. Its apparent founder was Karl Kellner, 1851-1905, probably with the German spelling Karl, a wealthy Austrian industrialist in 1895, although nothing verifiable is known of the order until 1904. Kellner wanted to establish an Academia Masonica within which high-grade Freemasonic degrees could be conferred in German-speaking nations. The Moose Fraternity, an international organization of men and women dedicated to caring for young and old, bringing communities closer together, and celebrating life. The Moose Fraternity, formerly the Loyal Order of Moose, is a fraternal and service organization founded in 1888 and headquartered in Mooseheart, Illinois. Moose International supports the operation of Mooseheart Child City and School, a 1,023-acre, 414 ha community for children and teens in need, located 40 miles, 64 kilometers, west of Chicago, and Moose Haven, a 63-acre, 25 ha retirement community for its members near Jacksonville, Florida. Additionally, the Moose organization conducts numerous sports and recreational programs in local lodge chapter facilities called either Moose Family Centers or Activity Centers, in the majority of 44 state and provincial associations, and on a fraternity-wide basis. There is also a Loyal Order of Moose in Britain. These organizations together make up the Moose International. The mission of Moose International, Inc. is to strive for excellence in 4 areas. A fraternal program and community service within our lodge and chapter system known as the Loyal Order of the Moose and the Women of the Moose. 2, to provide a family environment and education for underprivileged children in need. The Order of the Star-Spangled Banner, OSSB, was a secret society that opposed immigration and Catholicism in the United States in the 1800s. The Order of the Star-Spangled Banner, OSSB, was an oath-bound secret society in New York City. It was created in 1849 by Charles B. Allen to protest the rise of Irish and German Catholic immigration into the United States. To join the order, a man had to be at least 21 years old, a Protestant, and willing to obey the order's dictates without question. Members were nativists, citizens opposed to immigration, especially by Catholics. They saw Catholics as dangerous, illegal voters under the control of the Pope in Rome. Members invariably responded to questions about the OSSB by claiming that they knew nothing. This practice caused newspaper editor Horace Greeley to label them know-nothings. The OSSB would eventually form the nucleus of the nativist Know-Nothing movement, which ran candidates in 1855-56 under the American Party ticket. The Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks, BPOE, also often known as the Elks Lodge or simply the Elks, is an American fraternal order founded in 1868, originally as a social club in New York City. It has more than 750,000 plus members at 1,928 lodges. The fraternity currently focuses on community, friendship, and charity. The Elks was established by actor Charles Algernon Sidney Vivian in New York City on February 16, 1868. Vivian was a British expatriate and member of the Royal Antediluvian Order of Buffaloes. Organized as a club for minstrel show performers, the impetus for the group's founding was the death of a fellow actor to disease due to a paucity of funds for treatment and a desire to organize communal support for fellow actors in need. Founded as the Jolly Corks, by December of 1868, it had adopted the name Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks. By 1890, 173 lodges had been established throughout the United States. Like many other fraternal orders, the Elks at one point sponsored an insurance fund. The Elks Mutual Benefit Association, EMBA, was founded in 1878. At the 1885 Grand Lodge, it was reported that the EMBA was prosperous, but its finances were carelessly managed. The association was disbanded after the 1907 Grand Lodge passed a resolution banning mutual or insurance features, as well as degrees and auxiliaries. The Elks National Home is a retirement home in Bedford, Virginia, built in 1916. In late 2013, the Elks sold the home to a private organization. Citation, needed the Elks have shown their devotion to Americanism by conducting bond drives, promoting civil defense programs, and Flag Day observances. During World War II, they designated the week of March 15, 1942 as Win the War Week, and helped recruit for the United States Army Air Corps. An Elks National Service Commission was in operation from 1946 to 1950, and the Grand Lodge adopted a Declaration of American Principles in 1961 in Miami. In 1976, the Elks had 1,611,139 members. As of June 2020, it claimed to have more than 750,000 members. The Seven Society, founded 1905, is the most secretive of the University of Virginia's secret societies. Members are only revealed after their death when a wreath of black magnolias in the shape of a 7 inches is placed at the gravesite. The bell tower of the University Chapel chimes at 7-second intervals on the 7th dissonant chord when it is 7 past the hour, and a notice is published in the university's Alumni News and often in the Cavalier Daily. The most visible tradition of the society is the painting of the logo of the society, the number 7 surrounded by the signs for Alpha, A, Omega, Omega, and Infinity, and sometimes several stars, upon many buildings around the grounds of the university. There is no clear history of the founding of the society. There is a legend that, of 8 men who planned to meet for a card game, only 7 showed up, and they formed the society. Other histories claim that the misbehavior of other secret societies, specifically the Hot Feet, later the IMP Society, led University President Edwin A. Alderman to call both the Hot Feet and the Z Society into his office and suggest that a more beneficial organization was needed. The only known method to successfully contact the Seven Society is to place a letter at the Thomas Jefferson statue inside the university's historic rotunda. Accounts differ on the exact placement of the letter, either on the base or in the crook of the statue's arm. The group contributes financially to the university, announcing donations with letters signed only with 7 astronomical symbols in the order: Earth, Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, Neptune, Uranus, and Venus. The society gives large monetary donations and scholarships to the university each year in quantities that include the number 7, for example $777 or $1,777. The Cadaver Society is a secretive all-male student society at Washington and Lee University, known for its nocturnal pranks and mysterious nature. The group's name and activities are considered macabre, with speculation about its membership often including older students, pre-med students, or leaders of the university's athletic teams and fraternities. The Cadaver Society is a secret society for male students at Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia, United States. It was founded in 1957. The Cadaver Society has been in continuous operation since its founding in 1957. The society refers to itself as a friend of the university. It is known for nocturnal pranks. The membership of the Cadaver Society is strictly anonymous. Membership is speculated to consist of older students, pre-med students, or leaders of Washington and Lee's athletic teams and fraternities. The Cadaver symbol is a skull with the letter C around it. It can be found in many prominent places throughout the campus. One place in particular, where the Cadaver's logo can be consistently seen, is on Wilson Field. They painted it at the end zone every Friday before a game when the field was grass. Since the renovation of the field in 2008, and the replacement of grass with field turf, the Cadaver symbol in permanently on the hill separating alumni from Wilson Field. The society's members wear a skull mask and all black for anonymity while on campus excursions. It has long been rumored to have underground passageways spanning the campus and surfacing in the campus library. A Cadaver Society scholarship was established in 1997. The scholarship is to be awarded every 4 years to an incoming freshman. The Cadaver Endowment was committed in 1981 to be designated as a residual fund in Cadaver's name to the school each year. Opus Dei is often perceived as secretive, primarily because its members typically do not publicly disclose their affiliation with the organization, choosing to maintain privacy about their membership while integrating fully into their professional and social lives, which can lead to an impression of secrecy, even though the group itself claims not to be intentionally secretive. This practice is often attributed to a desire to avoid unwanted attention and to focus on their personal spiritual development within the organization. Unlike traditional religious orders, Opus Dei members are mostly lay people who live in the world and hold regular jobs, meaning they do not outwardly present themselves as part of a religious group. Opus Dei emphasizes the importance of integrating faith into daily life, so members are encouraged to practice their spirituality discreetly within their everyday routines. Historical criticism and negative portrayals in media may have contributed to a perception of secrecy, even if the organization maintains it is not intentionally secretive. The Euclidean Society is a student literary society begun at New York University in 1832. According to New York University records, it ceased to exist around the 1940s. However, it was revived in 2017. The society was dedicated to furthering the literary arts. Members held hour-long debates, preceded by readings of essays, orations, and poems. The Euclidean Society published orations and poems delivered by guest speakers at annual or anniversary meetings. In the 20th century, the Euclideans published 3 literary magazines: the Knickerbocker, the Medley, and the Geyser. 16 students formed the Adelphic Society at New York University in 1832. Its purpose was the cultivation of oratory and debate among its members. After debate, the societies was changed to Euclidean Society in honor of Euclea, the goddess of repute, glory, and war. Euclidean Society's rival was the Philomathian Society. While both societies forbade membership in their rival society, early records show that members were sometimes punished when discovered to be holding mutual membership, and a few resigned to join the rival society. The university gave the society its rooms at the main university building. The society also had its own library. A. Ogden Butler and family established a trust for the society, providing it with a stable source of funding. In the late 1930s and 1940s, the society became increasingly separate from the university, despite having on-campus accommodations. Its membership dwindled in the 1940s as a result of World War II. Another cause for Euclideans' lower profile seems to have been the perception of elitism by other NYU students. A quip in a yearbook of the era describes Euclidean as having a membership that includes John Quincy Adams, the Rockefellers, and that crowd, citation needed. The organization did consist largely of the social elite of the time. This alleged snobbery also became a theme of self-effacing humor in the diminishing external publications of the society in this era. The society refers to itself, and presumably Andiron Club, as the reclusive old establishment in a 1930s NYU yearbook. This tongue-in-cheek reference had to do with the club not taking part as a unit in spirited student games, competitions, and hazing of freshmen that occurred in the early fall at NYU. According to New York University records, the Euclidean Society ceased to exist around the 1940s. In 2017, the society was revived by MFA graduates of the NYU Creative Writing program, with the premise of continuing the tradition of intellectual exploration and literary discussion in an inclusive and welcoming atmosphere. The revived society is open to both NYU alumni and current students. The Tarsus Club is an organization often referenced as a secretive, powerful group with historical ties to the ancient city of Tarsus, potentially linked to the worship of the Persian deity Mithras, and believed to influence major world events behind the scenes. They are shadowy, influential cabal, symbolic meaning. The name Tarsus is significant because in ancient times Tarsus was a major city in Cilicia, a region known for its mystery cults including the worship of Mithras, which is often associated with secrecy and powerful symbolism. The Tarsus Club is often depicted as a group of elite individuals who manipulate events behind the scenes, sometimes with sinister motives. Brotherhood of American Yeomen, acronym BAY, originally Farmers Mutual, was a coeducational North American secret fraternal benefit society organized in 1897. In 1932, the organization was changed to Yeoman Mutual Life Insurance Company, a mutual legal reserve level premium company later known as AIM-US. The Brotherhood of American Yeomen, BAY, was a fraternal benefit society, essentially a mutual insurance organization, established in 1897 that allowed both men and women to join. It was known for its homestead chapters and rituals, based on Sir Walter Scott's Ivanhoe, and later transformed into the Yeoman Mutual Life Insurance Company. In 1932, Brotherhood of American Yeomen, BAY was a coeducational North American secret fraternal benefit society. J.E. and C.B. Paul established BAY as Farmers Mutual on February 25, 1897, at Bancroft, Iowa. Its name was changed to the Brotherhood of American Yeomen before its articles of incorporation were filed. It had chapters across the United States, and also had members in Canada. It furnished family protection. There was also a juvenile department for children of age 116. Men and women were admitted on equal terms. Within the years 1917 to 1923, the BAY had effected a complete reversal of its former inadequate rate policy and set itself towards complete solvency. To provide an immediate funeral benefit, the Brotherhood attached a funeral coupon check to each of its new Class C certificates. This was good for 1/10 of the face of the certificate and was payable to the beneficiary immediately upon the death of the member if desired. All that was necessary was to cut off the coupon, take it to any bank or send it to the Supreme Office, and if properly endorsed, it could be cashed at once. It had 26,203 members in 1908, growing to 43,212 members in 1917. A report on the BAY's business of 1920 to state insurance departments demonstrated that the Brotherhood continued to be one of the big leaders of the American fraternal system. The figures indicated that it recovered from the war and influenza period. It enjoyed favorable mortality, and the management guided its course with special ability, pressing to the utmost for gains in members and insurance, and took advantage of opportunities to strengthen its financial position. In that year, the BAY was 24 years old, having been organized on February 25, 1897. 2/3 of the active societies of the US and Canada were older. A tabulation in Statistics Fraternal Societies showed that 140 going societies in 1920 were organized before the BAY, and 68 came into existence since. Yet the BAY stood 5th among all these societies in membership, having 285,948 benefit members on December 31, 1920. It stood 6th in the table of insurance in force, that item reaching $367,882,000 US. The net increase of membership in 1920 was 12,122 and $14,604,500 US. Hunters' Lodges refers to a secret organization formed in the United States during the 1830s, primarily composed of American adventurers and Canadian rebels, with the goal of liberating the Canadian colonies from British rule. They were particularly active along the US-Canada border, and were known for their failed attempts to invade Upper Canada, now Ontario, during the rebellions in the region. Formed after the Canadian Rebellion of 1837, largely by Lower Canadian refugees who fled to the US to overthrow British rule in Canada, attempted invasions of Upper Canada, most notably at Prescott and Windsor, though these were unsuccessful. Leaders included figures like William Lyon Mackenzie and Dr. Charles Duncombe. While their attempts to liberate Canada failed, their activities caused significant tension between the US and Britain, forcing the American president to deploy troops along the border to maintain neutrality. Hunters' Lodges, secret organization of Canadian rebels and American adventurers in the United States, dedicated to freeing Canada from British colonial rule. Formed after the failure of the Canadian Rebellion of 1837, the lodges were concentrated in the northern border states. The Hai San Society, Chinese Haishan Gongxi, Pinyin Haishan Gongxi, Jutping, Hoi Tu San Wan, Peoji, Haisan, Fakfasu, Hoisan, which had its origins in southern China. One was a Penang-based Chinese secret society established around 1820 and in 1825 led by Lo Ah Chong and Ho Ah Kao, also spelt Ho Ah Kao or Hoka Kao, its titular head. At that time the society's headquarters was located at Beach Street, Ujong Pasir. The existence of secret societies in Penang can be traced back to the founding of Penang in 1799. Thomas John Newbold, 1807-1850, an officer in the 23 Regiment, Madras Light Infantry, in Malacca, 1832-1835, noted, "The secret fraternities in which they, the Chinese settlers, enroll themselves for mutual protection and support, prove powerful engines for political combinations, as the Dutch have repeatedly experienced during their long administration in Java and in the Malay states. In China itself, these societies are deemed so dangerous to the government as to be interdicted under penalty of death. At Penang in 1799 they set the administration in defiance and strong measures were necessary to reduce them to obedience. Even in the present day, the ends of justice are frequently defeated both at Penang, Malacca and Singapore, by bribery, false swearing and sometimes by open violence, owing to combinations of these fraternities formed for the purpose of screening guilty members from detection and punishment. In European settlements they are under the general control of an officer or headman styled Capitan, who receives a salary from the government and is responsible in some measure for the orderly conduct of his countrymen, whose representative and official organ he is. Their interior affairs, disputes and private interests are arranged by the heads of their respective kongsis, or fraternities. Bolton et al. Suggests that the Hai San Society started out mostly Cantonese and pro-Gi-hin, but by around 1854 had absorbed the Wasang Society and become almost exclusively Hakka and anti-Gi-hin.